made a big decision today.
What?
Well, I decided to withdraw from school this quarter.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Everything is ready, my darling. Do not be afraid. Soon we'll be together again.
Hello and welcome to Hello, this is the Doom Show. I'm Richard. Welcome back to the show, Jeffrey. Hello, Jeffrey.
Hi, Richard.
We are here on this dark and presumably stormy night to talk about our Anne Rice fan fiction that we're going to read selections from.
Right. So mine takes place between The Vampire Lestat and Queen of the Damned. It's like this little pocket of time. Think of it as like the Shadows of the Empire,
Ooh.
but for the Vampire Chronicles.
Mine takes place between Lestat and a really sexy twink guy.
What is it? Twink? What are you talking about? Is that something you're going to have to cut out because it's an offensive term? What is twink?
No, I don't think twink's offensive.
What is it?
It's a really hot, young gay dude.
That's definitely offensive, probably.
I don't think so. We'll
All right,
see.
well, I didn't say
We'll
it.
let the listeners choose it.
Cut it out of my mouth.
Oh, ouch. No, we are actually here to talk about Ghoulies from 1984-5? Which is it? Is it 84?
4. Yeah.
Okay. It is directed by Luca Berkovecki. Berkovecki. Oh my god. See, you watched that.
I watched the documentary.
I see. You watched the pronunciation videos.
I did.
Man, I think we should jump right into this because this is probably the best movie called Ghoulies from this year ever made. The year being 1984, which I said already.
1984-5, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen all of the movies named Ghoulies that came out in 1984-5. I feel like this one's probably pretty good and up there at the top of the list.
Third best.
Yeah.
Bah.
I feel confident saying that.
I'm going to play the trailer because that's how we do the thing.
Okay.
We play the trailer.
Hold on though. Is there I didn't watch the trailer. Is there a sound of a flushing toilet in the trailer?
Not to my knowledge. I know that they say that the tagline "Ghoulies will get you" in the end, and then he pops out of the toilet. I can't remember if there's a flush.
Well, you should add a flush after it.
I'm going to add a flush every time we say the word
Ghoulies.
No, the or this.
Okay.
Or it.
I don't think this episode's ever going to come out.
And.
How about whenever we say the word greedy gut?
Jonathan is having a housewarming party.
Whoa! What do you guys want to do?
Well, we could play hide and go seek.
Yeah.
What about Trivial Pursuit?
Yeah.
Strip poker.
Yeah.
I got an idea. Let's do a ritual.
Bow-hey. Yod-hey, bow-hey. You do the hokey pokey and you turn yourself. Hey, knock it off. Come. I order thee. In the name of the most holy Trinity. Come. I order thee.
Well, that was fun.
No, wait. I need to dismiss the spirit. So do I. Where's the bathroom? Upstairs.
Unfortunately, there will be some surprise guests. They have very bad manners. And they have no respect for privacy. They'll wake up the neighbors.
What the hell's in there?
And they never take no for an answer.
Man, that chick is really a screamer.
Ghoulies. Once they show up, you can never get rid of them. Ghoulies. They'll get you in the end.
So that was the trailer. This movie begins with some snouts and eyes and teeth from the titular Ghoulies.
Yeah. I don't think that Luca Berkovecchi ever heard the advice that you should really save your monsters for later on. He's really throwing them right in our face.
Not when they look this good.
Okay. We can say that. We can just go ahead and say they look great. These are gorgeous ghoulie puppets. They're just so wet.
I thought they were alive, like for real. They look so... No.
I thought they were CGI. They were just so lifelike.
They are definitely puppets, and sometimes the magic is not there. They look cool. They look fun.
They don't.
But they...
so fucking bad.
Or maybe I won't use the word cool to describe them.
Do you remember those rubber toys called Boglins from the 80s?
Oh, you know I do.
I still have a Boglin.
I'm going to look for a Boglin commercial.
My Boglin is broken. Like, its eyeballs don't work anymore. And a little piece of plastic, like, falls in front of its eyeball. God. My Boglin looks better than the Ghoulies.
Jeffrey, didn't your mother ever tell you not to play too hard with your Boglin? Goblin? Boglin? Is it Boglin?
Yeah, it's Boglin. It's like Goblin, but they come from a bog.
I remember my friend had one.
Yeah.
But I couldn't remember what they were called. The marketing did not work on me.
But you remember Ghoulies, not Boglins.
If you take us home, we'll kiss your Aunt Martha. We'll eat your peas. And we hope you know lots of girls. Hey, the name's Boglins, each sold separately, and we're looking for good homes. Maybe yours.
We see some rituals going down, some robed figures, a satanic cult.
Yeah, totally. It's being led by this guy named Malcolm Graves, played by Michael DeBar.
Yeah, has never been in the Misfits.
No, he looks like the sexy hair metal version of Ernest Borgnine in Devil's Reign. He's got those great horns.
Nice.
Yeah. He's the best actor in the movie.
He is brilliant.
But I'm not saying much when I say that. I'm just saying he is an actor in this movie. So by default, he's the best.
One of the cult members brings a baby to the altar to be sacrificed.
Yes.
The mother of said child runs up and says, "No, not our child. You promised.
Don't stab my baby." But she doesn't even have to say that, really, because the baby is Harry Potter, I guess. And it like Voldemorts him. Well, I guess Voldemort isn't really a verb. It attacks him when he tries to kill him with like lightning.
Yeah, some animated lightning. I love that drawn lightning you get. That's good stuff.
Yeah. So he's like, what's his name? Malcolm Graves, this leader, is like, "Hey, get this evil lightning baby out of here." And so Jack Nance, Jack Nance, he of Eraserhead and Twin Peaks, comes up.
Oh my God.
And this is the, second time that Eraserhead has had to dispose of an ugly mutant baby.
Oh my God, it's so true.
So he takes the baby and runs away.
And then he says, "It's dead, wrapped in plastic."
And they're like, "Listen, that's, polyester is kind of plasticky, is it not?"
Mm-hmm.
So So he could actually say that and get away with it, because that is what that baby is wrapped in.
She's dead. Wrapped in plastic.
So, of course, because Malcolm has trouble with commitment, he decides to sacrifice his wife instead of their child.
Somebody's got to die.
That's right. Ghoulies, the titular Ghoulies, bite her hands to hold her in place.
Yeah, they're living shackles. It's pretty cool.
Oh man, I was a living shackle to pay for college. No, I didn't follow through with
Shackled
that.
to debt. Ghoulies style.
Oh, that's very true. Still am.
Oh.
So anyway, was I just talking about all the comic books I was buying? Doesn't mean I'm paying off my student loans.
That $3 could have gone to debt. Malcolm Graves uses the Force to explode her heart or like pull it out of her chest or something.
See, I thought a ghoulie was going to burst out of her chest. I thought they were biting through her, but because this is PG-13, we get cock-blocked on the gore.
Yeah, it cuts away to one of the ghoulies, and this ghoulie is covering up his eyes.
Yeah, he's very sensitive to violence, this poor thing.
Yeah, so the disgusting thing that's coated in slime is also squeamish.
So there really isn't an R-rated cut of this, is there?
No.
Because it's really strange. This movie is PG-13, and we see a lot of the after effects of violence, but then a lot of the gore itself is cut away. So it's like, you'll be seeing someone, spoiler alert, we're going to spoil the whole movie, somebody with all this flesh, bloody flesh hanging off their face.
Yeah.
Which I think would automatically make it an R, but I don't know.
But I guess it's just a wound. You're not actually seeing any violence done.
Because this kind of crap used to matter.
I know.
Now R is so much harder than anything else.
Right.
In my day, we couldn't see anal disembowelment.
Well, I mean, I first saw this movie when I was probably like 5, and it did not scar me in any way. So, yeah, it's a baby film for babies.
Jeffrey, stop playing tough. I know it scarred you deeply.
Oh yeah, I couldn't sit on a toilet for years.
Man, I just don't sit on one for like respect to my family.
Because of the movie Arachnophobia, I for 10 years always checked underneath the seat of the toilet before I sat down, because I knew there was going to be a giant mutant spider under there.
I didn't check for spiders until I moved into this house.
Yeah.
Because we live on a lake now, and so we get these amazingly giant spiders. I check every night now.
Oh, yeah.
They're just afraid of me pooping on them as I am of them pooping on me.
I did actually find a spider under there once. It confirmed all of my fears.
The law of averages proved you right.
It did.
Let's see.
So we cut from the bashful ghoulie to our opening credits, which is scored underneath with a whimsical Richard Band track. And like most Richard Band tracks, it's pretty much just ripping off somebody else. In this case, it sounds a little bit like the Gremlins theme.
What?
A little
wow.
bit.
That's weird. Why would this movie have anything to do with Gremlins?
I know, it's strange. I don't know. I will say, I will spoil one thing from the interview that we'll talk in depth about later. And that's that Charles Band is very slyly adamant that, he had an idea for a Ghoulies type movie, for like a decade before Gremlins.
Mm-hmm.
Gremlins was just like the excuse.
Yeah.
Sure, buddy.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do we have the voiceover yet? Where
no, that doesn't come in for such a long time.
Okay, there's some scattered voiceovers through the movie.
Yes,
they're brilliant.
And they're shocking when they first happened, because this did not seem like a movie that required voiceover.
The child had been saved, so it seemed. And I vowed that he would never know the evil from whence he was spawned. And when his father finally died a horrible death, I felt sure that the curse had passed forever.
So the baby that we saw nearly get sacrificed is all grown up, and his name is Jonathan Graves.
Yes.
Or John, whichever.
Who does he look like to you?
Ooh. Well, it's Peter Liapis. I believe that's how you say it.
Yeah.
And he looks like... I'm kind of excited to hear what you're going to say, because I didn't think about it.
I am, yeah. Well, I always like to try to figure out who these no-name people look like, or like who the production was trying to think they looked like at the time.
Right.
Or, actors who are now popular who didn't exist then but kind of resemble them now in retrospect. Anyway, so at first I thought this guy was in scare quotes here, the handsome Jeremy Renner.
Ooh.
And then I figured it out, and he's definitely Tom Cruise's long-lost cousin, Dom Cruise.
Oh my god. The only person I could think of, and I had to look it up while you were dropping the Dom Cruise on me, was Chris Sarandon. He's got a little bit
he's got Chris Sarandon's hair, for sure, and he's kind of got his, like upper forehead structure. I don't know, like he's got Chris... Yeah, he's Chris Sarandon.
There you go.
Let's call him it.
It was this or Fright Night. He couldn't decide. Oh wait, no, he didn't have a choice.
Yeah, Fright Night was 85. Well, 84, 85. So
there you go.
All good.
So he has inherited the house where his father is also buried in the yard.
Right.
But he's with his girlfriend, Rebecca or Becky.
Becky. She's affectionately known.
She's played by a pelican.
A pelican named Lisa.
Lisa Pelican.
Yes.
And just going to go ahead and say, the crush is still strong. Still crushed on Lisa after all these years. But we'll get more in depth later on that.
Okay.
So yeah, they find the grave on the property here. It creeps out Becky, as you know, when you find a grave where it shouldn't be. It's a little creepy.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Let's see.
We also, at this point, meet, again, Jack Nance.
Yes.
Who has just been living at this property, I guess.
Yeah. Good
His
old
name
Wolfgang.
is Wolfgang. He is the creepy caretaker. Does he even say anything in this encounter between him, Jonathan, and Becky? I don't recall.
I remember him looking crazy with some eyebrows moving. I don't remember any speaking.
Yeah, he's got a gigantic beard. He basically just stands there and then walks away, and then we'll come back at the very end of the movie.
I love Jack Nance.
He is an integral character to this film.
He is?
Yes.
Oh yeah, he is.
Oh yeah, totally. It literally could not end without him.
In the 11th hour, yes.
Mm-hmm.
We go to the library where Becky sees all of his dad's Wiccan spell books.
Right. And Becky sees that there are rats living in the bookcases.
Yep.
Which is like almost a deal breaker for her. Like she's ready to move out. But I think the much bigger problem is the ghoulies in the toilet. I mean, I think she should prioritize.
Yeah, but no, the thing is, the ghoulies eat the rats.
Oh shit! Who will? So, yeah, but then who eats the ghoulies? You know, it just never works.
I just put them on a shishka ghoulie.
I wear them as bracelets myself.
It's like, there's a ghoulie, give me a hot dog bun. That sounds delicious. What did you say?
I wear them as bracelets. You know, they're shackles, but you can also kind of like have them be risque bracelets.
Sometimes when you move, I heard something like shaking about and jangling.
It's just my ghoulie.
Oh, snap. So they split up in the house, and John finds a secret door into the basement.
Mm-hmm.
And down in this creepy basement, there's some weird symbols on the floor. He opens a trunk, and he finds his father's bathrobe. No, wait, his ritualistic garb that he wore.
I would describe it as looking. You get a kind of good shot of it here, a better shot later. Obviously, it kind of looks like if Dracula was a quarterback. Like this would be his uniform.
Oh man,
totally evil, but practical if you're in a competition or a tumble.
I like it. He finds the chief tome of the Wiccan religion that his father kept, his satanic Bible, if you will.
Yeah.
That immediately cuts to him and Becky sitting at the dinner table where he's completely ignoring her reading the book.
I've got a big theory about this movie.
Ooh, lay it on me.
And I'll as we move through it, I will point out various evidence supporting this belief. But it is my belief that, in fact, Jonathan is illiterate and he doesn't know how to read. So I think he's just looking at the pictures right now.
Well, there's a lot of symbols in those spell books.
And that's all he really needs. And I think, like, the rest of it's just phonetic, and that explains kind of the incantations he'll be spouting out later on.
Okay.
You know, we'll track the evidence as we go.
I'll keep an illiteracy scorecard.
Yeah. There's one really damning piece of evidence.
Okay, I'm excited.
We'll get to it.
Okay.
But yeah, they're sitting at this table, and he's totally ignoring her, staring at the pictures. They are sipping a really fine vintage of Hawaiian Punch. I think it's the 84-85 vintage. The Hawaiian terroir at that particular two double year was really productive for growing really really good punch vines.
Was there a Simpsons joke with champagne? I can't remember.
I'm not familiar.
I'm probably messing it up. It's probably The Critic or something. I'm always doing that. Anyway, so while he's ignoring her, she has this great idea. She's like, let's have a party.
Right.
It's not like they can wreck this place.
No. Impossible. And I wrote in my notes, cue the douchebags. Yeah. So we cut from that, just the proposal, straight to the party scene. But I think what we missed in between was that the mailman accidentally delivered all of the invitations to an asylum for the socially unsalvageable. Because it is one loser after the next.
Shit.
These people should be fucking locked up.
If you're trying to take notes on this movie, this is where you pause the movie a lot, because this movie goes fucking crazy.
I had to rewind.
So insane.
The first minute of this scene, I had to rewind 4 or 5 times, and I still didn't get the dialogue right, because the music's really loud, it's really bumping, and the things they're saying like are not things that normal human beings would ever say.
This, in some ways, is the best shit ever in this movie. Like, I love this part, even though it's really hard to take notes on, so inevitably we're going to miss some shit. But the first person we see is Mike, and Mike is played by someone named Scott Thompson, not the Kids in the Hall's Scott Thompson. They couldn't afford him yet, and he was too young.
But there's 2 guys. There's Mike, and then there's
other guy.
Is Mike the one with the glasses?
Yes.
Okay, and then there's his other stoner friend.
His buddy that they never say his name, that I remember anyway.
I didn't even know that they said Mike's name. I kept referring to him I kept referring to him throughout the movie as deadbeat stoner Tim Robbins.
Yes.
Or
good call.
To go with my Dom Cruise, he's Dim Robbins.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Like a bad clone. Yeah. Got messed up in the test tube.
Pretty bad.
The synthesizer for this party sequence, the music in general is just fucking great.
Yes.
We meet, as if we weren't confused enough by Mike, there's also Mark, a.k.a. Toad Boy.
Yeah.
Played by Ralph Seymour. Holy shit.
Mark, a.k.a. Toad Boy, and this real meathead greaser named Dick.
Oh, Dick is my favorite.
They are talking by some trees.
Dick is played by Keith Joe Dick. That's his fucking name on IMDb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Toad Boy is
Dick.
The alter ego of Mark. He speaks in this horribly annoying, childlike banter and says crazy things.
Right. So, first let's deal with the line. Like, this stuff was just blowing my mind. I could not get any of it, really. So you should insert a clip right here of what Meathead Greaser Dick first says when he comes on screen. And then I will tell you what I think he said.
Okay, I like this challenge.
Okay.
Man, you should have seen the quim I poked last night.
What do you think he said?
I think he said, "Man, you should have seen the quill I poked last night." So I think he fucks hedgehogs. I don't know.
Okay, so...
I may have been correct. I don't know.
I can't wait to find out, because I definitely had no idea what the hell was going on in this frickin' scene.
So, yeah, he's talking with Mark, who is basically like a huge dweeb with werewolf eyebrows. And Mark's dialogue is easier to understand, like on the level of like I can hear it. Mm-hmm. It doesn't make any sense, though.
No.
You should just play it. I can't do the voice, really.
No, he has broken up with some girl or gotten dumped by some girl and it wants to kill himself or get laid or both.
No, I think he wants to eat someone. He needs sweet meat for his tum. And not having that sweet meat is making him so unhappy.
That is actually the line. That is. I'm glad you got that. That's great.
I'm so unhappy.
Toadboy needs sweet meat for his tum.
Knock off that Toadboy shit already. Jesus.
You don't love me. You just fed.
Oh, I just figured out what this whole sequence is. Satyricon.
Oh.
This is a remake of Satyricon.
I thought you were going to say it was guest directed by Fellini.
Wasn't he still alive in 85?
Maybe.
I'll help you guys out.
Also, I brought pizza.
Oh, you took it there. I just did a racist voice.
Yeah.
Okay, we're insensitive.
Okay. I'm Italian.
Oh, wow. So you can say it.
Yeah, I can do it.
Well, I'm German, so schnitzel.
Meet the ball. It's fine. I'm not offended.
I never knew you were Italian. This is a fun revelation.
Oh, yeah.
Classic episode right there.
I mean, my last name is like only very obviously Italian.
I thought it was...
It's got a vowel at the end of it, and that vowel is O.
I'm sorry. I thought it was Japanese.
Yes, I can understand why you'd think that when my name is Jeffrey Yakamoto.
Okay, so
fucking Toad Boy. No, we gotta talk more about why his name is fucking Toad Boy. I don't get it. Why is his name Toad Boy? Why does he talk in that stupid fucking voice? And why do people accept him for this? All of these things are wrong.
We can't act like that at a party and get away with it. So how the fuck does this guy have friends?
No, because he's not a 13-year-old boy. He's a fully grown man. And people are humoring him. Like they know that he prefers to be known as Toad Boy. And they accept him for this. They don't shame him.
We're hanging out with the wrong people, dude.
Isn't he like hiding out in a fucking tree? Like a fake tree this whole time? Like an indoor tree. I don't know what the fuck this guy is. But from the second Toad Boy shows up on screen, I'm really hoping that the Ghoulies make him croak.
Oh, nice. And they do.
Yeah, well, kind of.
For a while. So, for a little while. So, inside, we're in the kitchen, and there's... Becky is talking with one of the girls. I forget which one. I get mixed up with the girls in this.
One of these girls is Donna, who is played by Mariska Hargitay, and it might be Donna. I don't know.
Maybe there's other girls involved.
Other girls. Anyway, we find out from this girl that she recently went out on a date with Toad Boy.
Oh my god!
Because that seemed like a good idea in the moment, and she lets us know that he was, quote, so weird. Oh, wow. That must have been a real fucking shock to you that Toad Boy...
Talk about life lessons.
...wasn't necessarily the best date choice you've ever made.
But, I mean, is he the one that... I mean, is she the one he's pining over, I guess?
You know what? I'm going to make an OkCupid profile. Oh. And my name is Toad Boy.
Oh my god.
And I'll write it in, I'll like fill it all out in the character of Toad Boy. And I'm going to get so many fucking messages.
Dude. I actually want to...
So unhappy.
Oh, I think you got the basis for a reality show right there.
Fucking hell, Toad Boy.
So anyway, Dick bursts in to the party, and he says my fucking line I'm going to use forever now.
Yeah, you really should.
They call me Dick, but you can call me Dick.
And he opens a beer.
Yeah, he opens the beer before he says the second Dick.
Oh, it's
right?
so good. And obviously, like, he makes a big impression.
And it's such an anti-joke. I really like it because they could have gone like the easy route, and he could have been like, "But you can call me Big Dick," or like,
exactly.
Or like I would have preferred, "But you can call me Kichu Richard."
I would have preferred that.
Yeah, it would have been pretty cool. But I like that they go for nothing. Just like a restatement of his
Here's
name.
a fun fact. In high school, everybody called me Dickie.
Dickie.
Yeah.
Tricky Dickie?
Sometimes.
Yeah, figures.
Depends on who's asking.
Ooh.
We cut to the dancing scene.
Yeah.
With Mike.
Don't tell the people that it's actually dancing.
Oh, sorry. I called it cocaine fueled dancing. So does that help?
I called it brake flailing.
Mike is like working out some issues like primal scream therapy, but in dance form.
Yeah.
And everyone's laughing at him and watching. He's just all over the place. And then he breaks his what? Did you catch that? Where he hurts himself?
His cranium, unfortunately, he doesn't like, his brain doesn't like, he doesn't have like a cerebral hemorrhage or anything, so he keeps on living. The funniest thing about this scene is that after all that pathetic breakdancing, we see that all of his joints have fallen out of his pockets. That was a pretty good touch. I like that.
Poor guy. But his buddy is like, "You broke what?" "Oh, nothing important." So I guess that now the cranium joke makes sense. Thank you.
Right.
So finally, this cacophony of insanity slows down a little bit.
Yeah, most of the goers go home.
They knew I was getting to the end of page 1 on my notes. So.
Hey, me too. Yeah. And then,
and
then we stay with the main core cast for Johnny and Becky's super fun slumber party. Where they're thinking about playing hide and go seek and Trivial Pursuit and charades.
Finally,
and a satanic ritual in the basement. Whatever gets their rocks off. I think if they're very good, Mom and Dad will pop some popcorn for them and let them stay up to watch a scary movie.
That's right. They can put as much sugar in the Kool-Aid as they want to now.
This bunch does not need it.
Parents, I don't recommend that. Me and Jason Webb did that, and we stayed up for a weekend. It was awesome. Anyway, John's spell book opens magically, and he goes, "I got an idea. Yeah. Let's have a ritual."
Yep. So they go down to the basement torture dungeon.
Yep.
And then there's this really weird scene where, for some reason, Jonathan says it's part of the ritual. I kind of doubt it. He passes around a glass of what looks like white wine, and they all have to drink it, but they don't seem happy about it. I think he just pissed into a wine glass and is making them drink it.
He roofied them big time. He just did it wrong. He put in his own drink by accident. So he draws a circle around everyone, and because he's going to conjure a spirit. And then he draws a triangle with a circle in it. Mm-hmm. And because he says the spirit is going to appear in the triangle. And he starts reciting the incantation, which is amazingly gibberish, blah, blah, blah.
It is. It's like trying to be Latin. It's not really. I don't think it's Latin. Like, I hear words that, like, some, like, suffixes and affixes that are Latin. But then it's like... Instead of just plex, which is a Latin word, it's suplex. And like, that's a wrestling word. That is not an actual Latin word. Nice. But this is one of our first instances of where it becomes obvious that Jonathan is in fact illiterate. Becky asks him, where he knew how to do all this. Did he get it from that? Did he get all this elaborate ritual stuff from that book? And Jonathan's like, I don't actually know if I read that book or not. And that's because, he didn't read the book. He looked at the pictures. He's got a really excellent photographic memory, but a horrible short-term memory, and he also can't read.
Man. So he's got a whole host of issues there.
But that's not the linchpin of my argument. So
I'm ready.
We'll keep going on.
Now, as he's doing his little ritual, everyone starts to joke around and snicker. And he gets so pissed off. Like, I've been that guy when my friends won't take me seriously and they're all laughing at me and I fucking lose it.
Yeah, I forgot. This is like where they They make fun of the fake Latin by pointing out that it kind of sounds like he's saying hokey pokey, so they start singing hokey pokey. I
just got tired of everyone laughing at me, Jeffrey.
Nobody laughs at you.
I know.
They laugh with you.
So, right when they finish this total failure of or seemingly it's a failure, ritual, they notice that Robin has disappeared. And I'm like, who the fuck is Robin? Robin is one of the girls.
I have no idea.
She's played by someone named Shireen Kathleen, which is a nice rhyming name there. She disappears. We'll get to her later. It's not really that exciting. But as they're leaving, John's like, no, I have to banish the spirit, which I think means he has to pee.
Into that fucking wine glass.
Oh, shit, you're right. They drink his piss.
Because they live in like an old fucking castle. They don't have indoor plumbing.
Oh, God, no. So they all leave. At this moment, Wolfgang, who's been asleep in his little cot that he has somewhere in a servant's quarters, or just the shed. I don't know where he lives. He senses that something is wrong.
She's dead. Wrapped in plastic.
And of course something is wrong, because the smoke machines kick in.
And a ghoulie is born.
And a ghoulie appears. The first ghoulie we've seen since the credits. And man, it's amazing. It's like, how do they find an actor that small to get in that little suit? It's brilliant.
Well, the movie does have some pretty small actors in it. Maybe they were in the ghoulie suits.
People gotta split up to go look for Robin.
Well, no, I want to talk about this ghoulie.
Oh, I'm sorry. Please do.
Don't move ahead. So this ghoulie is born inside the circle in just blinding light. The animation kind of reminds me of like a Pokemon coming out of a Pokeball. But like instead of Pikachu coming out, you get like this slimy thing that looks like a reanimated dead guinea pig. It's really disappointing.
You don't want to catch them all.
Not well, you catch some.
You catch a few.
The healthier ones.
You catch the ones in the toilet.
What is this? This is like the main ghoulie in the movie. Like he's the one we see the most. Even though like he's not the one coming out of the toilet on the poster.
And he's not Nervous Ghoulie. I love Nervous Ghoulie.
Is Nervous Ghoulie the one that looks like a squished cat?
Yeah, he looks like he has some serious anxiety issues. He's so awesome.
Well, what do you think that this main ghoulie kind of looks like? The one with the huge nose.
He looks like roadkill, like a dog, like a dead dog. They stitched him together from like dead puppy parts.
Oh yeah.
Except more sexy.
Yeah, well, because of the slime.
Well, I'm just kidding. Nothing could be sexier than a dead puppy.
We cut now. To somewhere else.
Everyone's looking for Robin. I'm still not sure who she is until we see her.
Yeah.
But the weirdest shit ever comes from when Mike and his stoner buddy are looking for Robin inside the house.
Yeah.
And we get the clown dummy bit, which I think is just a nod or a very helpful heaping of ripping of off poltergeist.
I think it's pretty unambiguous about that. Because it has no real function in this movie.
There's this horrible clown dummy thing. It's not quite it's like child-sized thing, and it's the stuff of nightmares. I'm not even afraid of clowns, and this thing fucking terrifies me.
It's pretty creepy. I mean, it's way creepier than Ghoulies.
But there's a nice moment where they are playing with it, and then they open a door into the closet to look for Robin, and the thing pops out at them, which is funny. It teleports
from a rocking chair to the closet.
Exactly. That's the scary part. I liked it.
But it also doesn't make any sense.
So John and somebody finds Robin on the grounds, and she's staring at the grave that Becky was so afraid of earlier. And this is a pivotal part in the movie for Robin. And if you know what that is, write it into the show.
Okay.
doomedmoviethon@gmail.com.
Yeah,
no, I have no idea. It's just whatever.
I saw the clown. That was good enough.
The next day over John tells Becky that he's going to leave school.
Yeah. So All right, so it's all coming out. He is. This man is obviously like 35 years old.
Yep.
He's still in school.
So getting his GED.
What's he studying? I think like he might be studying interior decorating, with like a minor in alchemy.
Ooh.
Which we see both of these things happen pretty soon. But just saying, he's still in school and he's not doing well in school. I think it's because he can't read. But again, I'm gonna really my linchpin's coming up. But
Becky
can't read.
I'll be ready. I promise.
Okay.
Becky dances around the subject and is very nicely trying to support John by saying, "That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard." But John, he wants to fix up the place and play World of Warcraft. Study spells.
Yes.
So when Becky leaves, she decides to support him in this. So she goes to school or work or whatever Becky does.
Mm-hmm.
And John starts cleaning the house, but he gets distracted, ADD or ADHD.
Well, I want to talk about his cleaning of the house because it's a very deliberate method.
Moving the dirt around?
No, he like the main thing he does in cleaning up the house is just like violently kicking lampshades down a flight of stairs. It's multiple lampshades. He's just kicking the fucking shit out of them. I don't know why he's doing this, but he hates them. Like, that's the best they could do in terms of...
Isn't there a longer cut of that scene in the deleted scenes?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Definitely. He takes a knife to them, starts carving them up. But that, if they had put that in the movie, it would have been an R. Because all the violence on the lampshades.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Banned in Britain. So we get some voiceover.
Yeah, this is when the fucking narration starts from good old Wolfgang.
It's crazy.
It's all of a fucking sudden, and it makes no fucking sense for it to show up now. And all it is doing is explaining the very obvious thing that we are seeing on screen, which is that, hey, Jonathan's kind of obsessed with this whole satanic shit, huh? Wolfgang. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. We would not know what was going on.
And so it had begun. The evil one willing the boy on, using the boy's curiosity as a powerful weapon. I could but sit and wait, gripped by the fear of events foreshadow.
John goes into the basement and looks crazy. He's got the crazy eyes going. This looks insane.
Yeah.
He starts painting a huge symbol on the floor.
Mm-hmm. And it looks almost like advanced math that he's drawing inside. And I was really hoping that like a bearded Robin Williams would walk in and say like, "You've been trying to solve that for 2 years, and this illiterate, unemployed student solved it in 2 hours."
Wow.
Yeah, I was hoping.
Is this Ghoulies Will Hunting or Goodwill Ghoulies? I don't know. Whichever you prefer.
I like Ghoulies Will Hunting.
He starts doing some metalworking because, hey, crafters gotta craft.
How do you like them ghoulies?
Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
Okay, we can move on.
Wait, who was the actress who was in that? It was the love interest?
Wasn't it Minnie Driver?
Don't you mean Ghoulie Driver?
No, I didn't like that one.
Me neither.
Okay.
Ghoulies Will Hunting. Anyway,
so
he does some metalworking. We don't know exactly what he's doing, but he's working very hard on something stupid.
He's learning how to mint his own gold coin. And with this act alone, he has solved the U.S. deficit problem.
Becky gets home, and somehow the house is clean. All the lampshades have been kicked.
They're gone. They're buried out back.
He gives her a necklace, which is presumably what he was working on.
Right.
And it's a talisman, and he tells her she must never take it off.
Yeah, it's going to protect her. And she asks from what? And he says, everything.
Including me.
Yeah.
So that night, John is outside staring at the grave and shivering.
Yeah, because you know those really brisk Californian nights. You really got to wear a sweater or something.
I was getting cold just watching it. Becky comes home to tell him, come in and get some dinner. He tells her he's fasting.
Well, she says, "You look terrible." And I agree.
But that's just the actor, not the character.
Yes. I think he may have forgotten his stage makeup, but, again, a handsome Jeremy Renner still ain't all that fucking handsome. Yeah. Anyway, so he reveals that he's fasting, but I think what actually is happening here is that the whole cast and crew were fasting at this time because Charlie Band ran out of money for catering. I think it's a pretty good bet.
Oh, man. I mean, that's almost as bad as when you tell someone you're vegan. You don't just fast in a relationship. You got to, introduce it slowly.
Yeah, she's super pissed because she made dinner for them.
If he was one of those raw foods people, I would have turned the movie off. Is that mean? I don't trust those people.
I think that probably he's just saying that he's fasting because she made meatloaf or something.
Ew, yeah, Becky's meatloaf. No, you don't want that.
He's had experiences with Becky's meatloaf.
Next thing you know, John is wearing the robe. And he's wielding a big ass trident. Yeah. Or spear, scepter, but I think trident applies.
And somebody from off screen throws a football to him, and he catches it, and he runs for the goal. Very nice. And when he throws it down, because he's made the goal, he goes, "Blah!
Blue!" He calls forth the Ghoulies after some amazing spell casting.
Yeah, he actually calls forth the 4 natural elements, water, earth, plant, and cobweb, from which the Ghoulies emerge.
Ooh. I love it. It's so great. He tells them to remain invisible to all but him and to obey him because he's their master.
Yep.
Then he summons some demons or whatever so he can have more power. And then it starts raining in the basement.
Oh, yeah. Well, because it's weird because that scene happened... Okay, the scene where he summons the Ghoulies, all of them.
Yeah.
Which, again, doesn't make it... Okay. I mean, we got to talk about the logic of this spell casting because there is none. So, previously he summoned an evil demonic spirit and didn't cast it away. And that manifested in the form of the Ghoulie, the dead guinea pig Ghoulie. Okay, fair enough. But then in the next scene, we see the poltergeist clown dummy, which is also possessed, as we see later on. So I guess there's 2 spirits, which doesn't make any sense. And then he calls forth the Ghoulies in this scene, and one of them is, again, the dead guinea pig Ghoulie. So that doesn't make sense, because he'd already been called forth. But now it's the other ones. I don't understand anything. No. Anyway, it gets more confusing, because that all happens outside at night, and then we cut to the next scene, and it's day, and he's doing some mid-afternoon rainstorm conjuring.
Oh, it's so good.
And we get some more stupid Latin, fake Latin. I think one of the lines here is Somnia Farrah Fawcett Sunt. I wrote that down.
Nice.
Yeah, he makes this indoor rainstorm. I don't know why.
We get a really good look at the nervous Ghoulie. I love that guy. This is bug-eyed guy.
Yeah, that's definitely the smushed feral cat.
Oh, yeah, he's so cute.
Yeah, so I want to describe the other Ghoulies. So we've got the smushed feral cat who, kind of looks like your ugly aunt. Not your ugly aunt, but just general you.
And you call him as you see him. I accept.
Everybody's got an ugly aunt, and that's what this Ghoulie looks like. Then there is the flying raccoon Ghoulie, who we don't see much of. That one just pops up mostly near the end, and that's the one hanging out in the tree when it's summoned. And then there's the poster Ghoulie, which I call Tiny Wet James Carville.
I was not expecting that. That's good.
And there's a couple of those Ghoulies.
Yeah, the tidy bowl Ghoulie.
It's really inconsistent with the number of Ghoulies. And
I know.
There's just more that pop up, and some of them look exactly like the other ones, but they're clearly separate. I don't fucking get it at all. Anyway, I guess he's just conjuring all the time off screen and we don't see it.
I call upon thee, Vapor, and thee, Procel, and thee, Ashtaroth. Bring forth the fury of thy tempest before me. With these words, Nam Fumas Somnifera Excelat, ignis et quae erant, somnia fera facta sunt.
I'll talk more about logic later, but let's get back to Ghoulies.
The funniest thing is when Becky comes home. She just misses the rainstorm in the basement. Yeah. And you think it's nighttime, you think it's the same day that he's been doing all, but apparently time has passed. We have no idea what's going on. Mm-hmm. And Becky just walks in and is so horrified to see him in his Dracula getup, mm-hmm. his Dracula linebacker outfit, and screaming his incantations. And it's so funny. Like he's like, "Oh, Becky, you're home early."
Yeah, he got caught Sataning, which is pretty close to being like caught masturbating.
Yep. And I mean, what would he have been doing that would have pissed off Becky less? Cross-dressing or practicing his LARPing. Or maybe he was LARPing.
What if he was like totally nude, looking at himself in the mirror and only wearing a lampshade?
Well, that's okay. That's better than being whatever he's doing. So Becky's pissed off now.
Kind of pissed, but then we transition to the almost love scene.
Oh wait.
Did I miss something?
Okay. Oh, this is good. So they're in the kitchen, and he's trying to talk her into not leaving him. Mm-hmm. And she almost hits him in the face with a pot. She's angrily whipping up some lunch or dinner. Uh-huh. And it's just the actress, Lisa Pelican. She swings around, and this like little pot that she's mixing with misses his nose by like an inch. It's so funny. And he's like, "Whoa, shit." And they argue, and he promises to stop being a dungeon master.
Yeah.
But then that night, John lights a candle by the bed, and we get our almost love scene.
It's like, I swear I'm done. I'll never throw a 20-sided dice again. I love you, baby.
Oh, man. Becky comes in wearing her nightie, mm-hmm. and they get intimate, if that's a thing.
Yeah. And it almost becomes a threesome because there's a ghoulie under the bed.
A ghoulie like gets into bed with them. Well, at least he's at the end of the bed,
yeah.
And we see a glow-in-the-dark symbol drawn under the bed.
Mm-hmm.
John's sweet talking turns into chanting, which is amazing.
Yeah, because she, it makes sense because she was whispering to him the whole time, like, "Talk Satan to me, baby."
She used to like it. Ugh, whatever. Now she's setting boundaries. Whatevs.
Come on.
She does not like this, that he keeps doing that. So she disengages from his dingle lock, which is what I wrote in my notes.
Wow.
And storms out in her nightie and a trench coat. She throws a trench coat on and goes out.
Well, I mean, she doesn't like that, but then she also sees the stuff, the shit, like the symbol written under the bed.
Oh, yeah, which is very awkwardly edited. It looks terrible.
It's so weird because... like, it seems like that's the thing that really upsets her.
Uh-huh.
But what we see of it, like, it just says F-L-O-A-H. Floa. It's like, fuck, Floa. You betrayed me.
Maybe he was trying to write something else. Like, he thought he wrote, like, some other word. Like, I love you.
Again, very definitely illiterate.
Hi, Becky. I like this theory of yours, sir.
I bet you if you moved the bed a little bit and you saw more of the message, it would say, well, in his like, in his writing, it would say, "I bought you flowers."
Oh,
to say he's sorry,
Yeah, he's very sweet.
Yeah.
This John guy.
He's a sweetheart.
So he immediately gets back to spellcasting, and John calls upon two characters. Grizzle and Greedagut, played by Peter Risch and Tamara Detrue. These characters are amazing.
Yeah.
And they're also stupendous.
They are medieval dwarves who are totally ready for the Ren Fair.
Oh, man.
They are the smallest dwarves I've ever seen. They're like a foot tall.
Yeah, they got metal helmets.
It's not like trick photography. They're just really, really tiny.
Nope.
I think they say, something like, "We will serve you most faithfully," although it kind of sounded like hatefully, which I like better. We'll serve you most hatefully. But then he, Jonathan, like everybody who Jonathan encounters, he makes them drink piss to determine their worthiness and loyalty to him.
Oh my god. Did you notice the editing mistake that was pretty funny?
I did not.
Okay, so he wants them to drink from this goblet to solidify their pact with him, or just because he likes people drinking his pee.
Yeah.
They show Grizzle holding the goblet, and then they cut, and Jonathan is walking over to give him the goblet. It was just they just screwed up and showed the shots out of order.
What a flub.
I can't believe I noticed things like that. I must be watching Ghoulies. So they drink, and they ask him what he wants. And he wants knowledge and power, and of course, Rebecca.
Yeah.
He wants Becky to come back, y'all.
Those are the things that most people want.
So they tell him to perform something called the Master Ritual,
right?
I think.
But it's super dangerous, so says Grizel.
He'll need 7 others, but the ritual is fraught with danger.
Yeah.
And Jonathan, he's like, I can't even spell the word fraught. See, I'm using your joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
I see it.
Oh, man, comedy.
We are here, Master.
What would you have of us?
I will have you serve me.
That precisely.
It's why you've called us, Master.
And we will.
Most faithfully.
Forsaking all others, you will obey me?
Unquestioningly.
We are yours.
So next thing you know, John is chilling in the library.
Exactly.
And he's reading a book.
No, he's not. Okay. This is the most tender scene in the film.
Let's do it.
In which the guinea pig Ghoulie is helping John learn how to read. I believe this Ghoulie is actually teaching him how to read. I think that the book they're reading is Goodnight Moon. It's like a first edition, so it looks pretty old. Yeah, this is it. This right here is the linchpin of my argument.
Nice.
The very tender scene of a slimy, disgusting guinea pig Ghoulie who can read, helping this poor man who doesn't know how to spell the word fraught.
Now, see, this scene, aside from being very tender and moving,
yes,
was also the funniest thing that my kid brain. When I was a kid, this was high comedic art right here.
Right.
There's a knock at the door, so he hands the Ghoulie the book.
Right.
And the Ghoulie's like, I got this, and starts to hide. It's the stupidest shit I've ever seen, but I loved it. I thought it was so fun. I remember rewinding that part, because it was just, I don't know, I had problems.
Okay.
All right? I could read, but not as good as Jonathan. So he puts on his Ray-Bans because, his eyes are glowing with very painful, glowy eye contacts.
Yes.
It's Becky, and she looks desperate. And she tries to get him to leave, to go away with her. And he says, no, I can never leave this place, and shows her the glow stick eyeballs in his head.
Right. And she's disturbed by this, of course.
And I think a nod to Rosemary's Baby happens when she says, what have you done to your eyes?
Yeah, they'll rip off anything in this movie, won't they? Nothing is sacred.
We'll just assume.
Well, he says to her that, explaining his green cat eyes, that quote, it's a sign. And she responds of what? Scurvy?
Jaundice?
Yes.
Oh, I heard that.
That was my phone.
So then he uses the ultimate magic phrase to get her to stop from leaving. He says, Becky, I love you. And she freezes, and now she's under his control.
That's all it took. She just needed affection.
Oh my god.
He was giving the Ghoulies all his love.
Exactly. Okay, so my favorite scene in the entire movie happens where, in order to have these 7 people that he needs for his ritual, he calls all his buds, Mike and Dick and Robin and the other people who might have names.
Yeah. For the dinner party.
Yes. They're at the dinner.
Before that.
What happens?
We get narration voiceover number 2. It is another moment in which Wolfgang super helpfully informs us that he knows what's going on somehow. I don't know how. And that he is, quote, powerless to stop it. Mm-hmm. And I think I know why he's powerless to stop it. And it's because he's not in the fucking movie. Because they couldn't pay him enough to be
They could not afford Jack Nance enough.
Just they had 5 minutes of Jack Nance. That's how much they could afford.
Wow.
So he's not here.
Not yet.
It's the stupidest fucking shit. Okay. Dinner party is not the stupidest shit. It's the best shit. So let's talk about that.
The dinner party is so bizarre. Everyone has been instructed to wear sunglasses.
Mm-hmm.
And they got this crazy spread of food laid out. And because the ghoulies are invisible, they're climbing all up in the food and eating. Like, one's hiding in the turkey.
Right.
One's eating a tomato.
One, like, pops out of a soup. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, one of the toilet ghoulies,
yeah,
which you know.
James Carville pops out of the soup.
That is not sanitary.
Definitely not.
And so that someone asks Becky and John, why aren't you guys eating? John says, oh, we already ate.
Yeah. Or fasting. Still fasting.
Oh, that's right. And he's like, we don't eat ghoulie poop. Why do you?
Yeah, this is definitely the best scene. They're wearing all of these stupid... some of them aren't even sunglasses. Some of them are like... I guess like... was it Virtua Boy? Is that the... the virtual reality thing you wear on your face? They're a little bit like that. Yeah, it's like early Oculus Rifts. That's what they're wearing.
There's only one problem. It needs your eyes. Virtual Boy. See it now in 3D.
These are the stupidest fucking glasses. Do you know why they're wearing them? Because I
know. No, I don't know why.
All right, this is gonna blow your mind. I learned this from the documentary. That this film, as originally conceived, was going to be partially 3D. And whenever a character on screen is wearing glasses, it was a cue to the audience to put their fucking 3D glasses on. So this dinner scene was supposed to be in 3D. However, they quickly realized that I think that like it was impractical to shoot anything in 3D or it was too expensive, so they stopped. However, they kept, or to convert it, I guess. I don't even know. However because you had to like film it in 3D at the time.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so they couldn't do it, but they kept all of the stupid like shit to clue you in to put your 3D glasses on.
Oh, man.
But it doesn't make any sense in the movie.
It's so great.
Like, why are they wearing sunglasses here? Oh,
exactly.
It's part of the ritual. Okay, sure.
You just kind of ruined everything for me. I wish I didn't know that.
But I think it's better knowing what they were going for and then totally failed to do.
No, movie ruined.
Okay.
You did it.
Well,
no,
I like it more now.
I still love it. No, that's really interesting. I fucking love that. Finally, John proposes a toast. And everybody drinks, and they freeze.
Yeah.
And then John screams something. It is so fucking awesome.
I have no idea what he says. I thought I heard him say, like, what a day!
Oh, my God.
What a day!
Did you see the new Mad Max movie?
Yeah, What a Lovely Day.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like
what
that.
a lovely day!
And then once he says
shit.
they all magically transport down to the basement into the ritual circle.
Oh, man.
And then it just becomes fucking insane, where everybody is screaming. We learned the ghoulies have names. I didn't write any of them down because they're being screamed and there's music, so it's hard to actually understand them. But they all have very grandiose names. All of the guests are wearing bed sheets, like they're wrapped in bed sheets. And,
this is the second craziest shit. Like the party scene from earlier is insane. This is like the sequel to that scene. It is so fucking crazy.
Yes.
My notes are just this happy scribbling of fun stuff.
Yes.
I wrote Becky is wasted. I wrote, this part is hilarious. Chanting. The gravestone is raising up and you can see Malcolm's name on it.
Right.
His dad pops out of the grave as a zombie.
Yeah, that's the important... Like, this ritual is to resurrect Malcolm Graves.
Yes. Which I don't think that... I think that Jonathan expected just to get his power. I don't think he expected to raise his dad completely from the grave.
Right, and I think that's because Grizel and Greedy Gut, they're on Malcolm's side, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so they were, tricking him.
Grizel does seem conflicted about it.
I didn't pay super close attention to the intricacies of loyalty.
You're lucky you didn't. It gets worse. It gets so confusing and stupid. Now that the ritual is over, everyone is magically transported back to the dining room. They have no idea anything has happened.
Mm-hmm.
Jonathan tells them that he and Becky are going to bed early and everyone's invited to spend the night.
Yeah, Slumber Party Part 2. And Dim Robbins pulls off his 3D glasses, only to reveal a second pair of shades underneath, which is pretty good.
So great. I want to do that.
And Mike suggests that him and his stoner friend, aka lover, are going to spend the night in the wine cellar, or the Hawaiian punch cellar. And then we get my favorite line of dialogue in the film, which is from Mike's friend, who, after that suggestion, says, "Oh ho, you madman. Yeah." And it's delivered with as much enthusiasm as I just gave it. It's really good.
Oh, you madman. Yeah.
I think I might have solved the mystery of Kool-Aid.
Of the Kool-Aid?
Yeah, it's not Kool-Aid or Hawaiian Punch.
Yeah, what is it?
It's Crystal Light, bro. Holy shit. The whole movie makes sense now.
Yeah.
Did you used to eat Crystal Light like I did?
You just ate the packets?
Yeah. Is that weird?
Yeah, it's so weird.
It wasn't even like a sugar high because it was just artificial sweetener. Yeah. So I got the extra cancer.
Like, I have to feel like it's a lot like, like the cinnamon challenge. I imagine you could pull off the same thing with a Crystal Light challenge. It just makes you bleed and vomit all over the place.
But yet it's still safer than the actual cinnamon challenge. You can injure your lungs with that stuff. Don't try it.
I think you can with Crystal Light too.
Oh, stop.
It's crystals, man.
Stop bringing me down, man.
Okay.
What do you think Mike's been snorting this whole time? I know he's been smoking doobies.
Yeah, doobies.
I believe in Crystal Light because I believe in me.
So, of course, Malcolm is walking around on the grounds. He goes up to the Ghoulies and informs them that he's their true master.
Yeah, he talks to two of the Carville Ghoulies. Toilet Ghoulies.
Dick gets lucky with his date. Unfortunately, he does it in the clown room. So that stupid clown is watching him have sex with some chick who may or may not be Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Mark is... Toad Boy.
Yeah, Toad Boy is, he's, we refer to it as sexual assault. He is attacking this woman, literally. He asks her, quote, "Is that a little girl's tum?"
Oh,
and
God.
And then, tickles her by a fountain outside.
Dude, it is so weird. What the fuck? Oh, my God. Okay, I didn't know who his date was. I called her the long-legged beastie because he's like a little troll guy.
He is.
And she has got legs for miles, and she's got one of those weird 80s dresses that just looks like a sweater that was with the sleeves cut off. So her legs come up to his frickin' shoulders. She's so tall.
Is that a little girl's tum? Oh, God! No, Mark, you're tickling me.
While they're hanging out, Mike and his stoner/lover are getting drunk, and they're sitting in the house, listening in from the window.
Right.
And they're making fun of Mark and the girl. They're looking for a lighter for the doobie. I'm assuming it's the last doobie. Then the girl drops her bracelet into the water of the fountain, which we know is Ghoulies infested.
Yeah.
Mark sticks his hand in to find her bracelet and comes up with a big fistful of green ghoulie poop.
Again, no indoor plumbing, so you just got to go where you got to go.
And of course, the ghoulies attack, and while they're screaming, Mike and his lover are laughing because they think it's a big joke.
I gotta say, it's really satisfying to see Toad Boy attacked by actual Toad Boys. They're taking the name back.
That's right. They're not putting up with that shit anymore.
Nope.
I think it's disturbing that Mike and his buddy know that Toad Boy is either raping and or murdering that girl.
Oh yeah, and they're or like eating her again, wanting the sweetmeats for his tum. Toad Boy makes me so uncomfortable. He is the grossest character in all of film. I can't think of anybody grosser.
Oh jeez.
Oh man, that chick is really a screamer.
So Dick is done getting laid. He dismounts from his dick receptacle.
Yeah.
I don't even know these characters. Who are these people? He's gonna get some water. He's acting like he put a lot of effort into the lovemaking process.
He definitely looks like somebody who tries too hard.
And the creepy dummy is watching the girl, as creepy dummies do.
Yes.
And then Malcolm bursts into the main room, into the entryway.
He blows up the front glass door. He really knows how to make an entrance, and I think again that's coming from his like hair metal background. Like, exactly. He busted that glass with his pipes.
And no one notices. His doors explode, he screams, and it's like, hello?
Yeah. And then, Dick walks down and encounters him. Well, kind of encounters him. But yeah, it's clear nobody is disturbed by this huge breaking sound. Again, you can fuck up this place and nobody cares.
No one cares. Like Becky predicted, they can trash it and no one's going to notice.
Exactly.
So, this is the part of the movie that annoys the piss out of me. This is just so lame. Because it's been done so many times and better. Pick any horror movie from the 80s and you'll have a better scene. Malcolm has turned into Sexy Lady.
Yeah.
Or Temptress, as she is called in the credits. Bobby Bressie is her name. Bobby Bressie.
You could say that Malcolm really phantasms that Dick.
Oh my god, so phantasm. Dick, who just got laid, is now being seduced by this marginally sexy woman.
Yeah, very marginal. And I think he says something like,
"No doubt about it, Mr. Dick. You are a lucky guy."
So immediately there's a giant tongue involved.
She was concealing a giant fruit roll-up in her mouth.
Oh god!
And she spits it out like one of those party whistles.
What flavor was that roll-up? Was that raspberry?
It was Ghoulie flavored, man.
Lick your bracelet.
It wraps around Dick's throat and starts squeezing him.
I'm glad you said throat.
Yeah.
You didn't say
his neck.
His dick.
Well, I think you could say that dickhead really took a beating.
Oh, nice.
Because his head probably explodes or something.
So I think next we see John. He's been conveniently not letting Becky wear her amulet of protection so that he could work his magic on her.
Oh, yeah. I got to point out a continuity error because it's really annoying.
I like it.
Yeah. So, it's so weird. When Dick wakes up with that lady who he has slept with, it is morning. It is clearly morning. Morning sunshine is coming in through the blinds. That makes sense, kind of, because they had clearly been asleep. They weren't just done with sex. They'd been sleeping. But when we cut back to Mike and his friend in the wine cellar, it is still very clearly night, and the rest of the movie is still night.
Silly.
So it doesn't make any sense.
Nice going, guys.
Yeah. Anyway.
So yeah, Becky is now. He puts her to bed so that she will avoid any more ghoulishness. Get it? Or ghoulishness?
Ghoulishness. Yeah.
A funny scene happens where Mike is trying to light his doobie while looking for matches. And Grizzle and Greedy Gut?
Greedy Gut.
Greedy Gut.
I think that Greedy Gut at the time was Charles Band's nickname. So he just gave it to this character, Greedy Gut. Yeah.
They knock him out with a baseball bat, which is very funny. And then the strangest shit, they steal his jacket. They drag him outside. And then they beat the shit out of a ghoulie for some reason.
Yeah. It's one of our worst shots of a ghoulie. It's just like so obviously a puppet.
Maybe they're trying to cover up how bad the puppet looked. They're trying to beat up the puppeteer for insulting the movie. And then there's this whole thing where Grizzle seems to be having second thoughts about all this. Like, he's kind of feeling bad for what they're doing. And that's what I had to make up in my mind because I had no clue what the fuck was going on.
Oh, shit. I know why they steal the coat, though.
So they can do their little gag.
Yeah, the trench coat gag, which is like the next interesting thing that happens.
But I just thought it was weird how they were...
But I don't even know why they do that.
They argue, and they argue.
None of this really makes any sense. I think all that we need to know that is happening is that they're killing everybody. The Ghoulies...
Yes.
The Ghoulies and... Grizzle and Greedy Gut are killing everybody because they have to. It's part of the ritual.
Yep.
Another fucking ritual.
So Mike's lover goes into the room and he sees who he thinks is Mike standing with his back turned.
Mm-hmm.
And he says my favorite line of the movie, which is,
"Hey, dude, go bogart that joint."
And of course, it turns around and it's that old gag of, midgets standing on each other's shoulders to imitate real people, which happened to me today twice.
On. First of all, midget's an offensive term. Second of all, they are real people.
That's little people.
Or dwarves. Either's
dwarves.
fine.
Well, I don't know what the correct term is.
You gotta be sensitive. Our listeners are listening.
I know. Wait. Who's listening?
Our listeners. They're listening.
We have listeners?
I think so. They're listening.
Here's a shout out to our listeners. Thanks for listening.
Don't talk to them.
They said I could.
No, don't talk to them.
I feel conflicted.
Don't acknowledge that they're there.
Hey, dude, don't bogart that joint.
Oh my god. So yes, they I guess kill Mike's lover.
Yeah.
Then the Ghoulies attack the girl that Dick made sweet love to in bed.
Mm-hmm.
Then the dummy comes to life.
Right.
And starts bleeding green slime out of its eye sockets.
And then, like, a much larger toad monster ghoulie sort of, like, crawls its way out of the
Who is this
smell.
mysterious ghoulie? The giant one. He's like their uncle.
We never... I mean, they're in Ghoulies, too. There's a giant ghoulie, but it's a
Uncle
giant
Ghoulie.
toilet ghoulie.
Oh, shit.
This one is like a toad...
poop.
Oh, my God. Do you think maybe it's Toad... It's another Toad Boy? Toad Boy Reborn?
Oh, wow.
Maybe it's Toad Man.
That's deep. Somebody had one of those really bad YouTube videos with a bunch of scary clips from horror movies, and they had them all like edited together in the gray scale kind of thing with the fake aging that they do on old videos.
And it was all just the Toad Boy scenes?
No, it was a bunch of clips from a bunch of horror movies.
Right.
And some of it was genuinely creepy because of the artistry behind these things.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the clips was the dummy bleeding the green slime from its eyes. And I was like, oh,
but that's like
scary.
I mean, it's pretty good. It's a good effect. It's clearly not the scariest thing in this movie.
No.
Any scene with Toad Boy. Is the scariest.
That's scary.
Yeah, it's horrifying.
Oh my god. So Malcolm calls upon his children, which is all of the Ghoulies, as well as all of the people who've been killed so far, which is actually an effective moment where the dead people are like kind of like flopping around like fish on the ground.
Very lazily reanimating.
Oh my god, it's so cool. I mean, I like that. That's actually creepy. Look out.
Yeah, we that's where we get some good, after the fact gore effects. We're like, oh, your face has been partially ripped off.
Oh man, there's some serious shredded flesh here. It's good.
It's pretty good.
So Becky wakes up from her nap, and she is very upset by what the hell's going on. She has no idea what the hell has been happening for the last, who knows, day, week, I don't know. The funny shit happens when she takes off the amulet because it's burning hot because it's working to protect her from all the craziness. When she takes it off and the ghoulies start attacking her, she screams my favorite, "Why, Jonathan? Why?" and then falls down the stairs.
Well, it's because that damn flying raccoon does a flyby.
Oh my god, it's so good.
She tumbles down. And I guess she dies?
Yeah, we're presumed that Becky is dead.
Everybody assumes it. Jonathan especially assumes she's dead.
He takes her down to the altar because he's going to do something. That's when Malcolm finally reveals to Jonathan that he has been, that he's back.
Right. And that he's his father.
Yes.
So I don't think Jonathan really knew that.
Oh, shit.
I'm not sure. It's not clear.
They have some magical brawling, and Malcolm wants to drain Jonathan of his youth, and he reveals to him that the Sorting Hat was a liar, and that Jonathan definitely belonged to Slytherin House. Booyah!
We get some really strange tinkering of the Oedipal complex.
Man, it is strange.
When Malcolm says, "Kiss me, my son. Let me drain the life from your lips."
Oh man, he is going for it.
This was a really good... I watched this yesterday on Sunday, the 21st. So it was a really good Father's Day pick.
Oh man, no doubt.
Yeah.
Tries to use Becky against John by having her seemingly resurrect, or maybe you're right, maybe she wasn't dead, but she comes to
I don't think she was really dead. I think everybody just assumed.
Yeah, I definitely assumed.
Stairs plus Becky. Oh, yeah, she's dead.
She has problems.
But yeah, so Wolfgang is shown back up, and he looks ridiculous. He's wearing a cloak.
Oh my god!
He looks like Merlin.
He looks like Manos or something. Like blue.
Yeah,
he looks like blue Manos. It's pretty great.
Yeah.
And actually, you know what? This is just as cheesy as Manos: The Hands of Fate at this point. When frickin' Wolfgang takes on Malcolm, and it's just so last second. Because like you were complaining about, and rightfully so, Jack Nance has not been in this movie at all.
No.
And now he just pops up as a last minute savior, so that Jonathan never has to learn how to read. Never has to fight his own battles.
She's dead. Wrapped in plastic.
They shoot laser eye lightning at each other.
I think their robes rubbing against the ground built up a lot of static electricity, and they're just shooting it back and forth between each other.
Magical. The whole place starts to fall apart, and even with Wolfgang telling them to get out, John and Becky just fucking stand there.
As you do.
And that's when Malcolm is defeated, and everyone who died magically comes back to life. See, all of their...
that is the most disappointing fucking thing.
I like it, and I'll tell you why that's funny for me at a young age when we get to summing this movie up. But yeah, everyone comes back to life, and they all leave together. Yeah. Of course, as they're driving away, it's... everyone's in their separate vehicles, but it's John driving with Becky, and then Mike is in the back seat, who you do not want in the car with you on a road trip ever.
Well, better than Toad Boy.
Yeah. Poor Toad Boy.
Just imagine what Toad Boy smells like.
Imagine it or dream it. Because I'm dreaming it, baby. As they're driving away, of course... someone asks, "Is it really over?" The answer is, fuck no. This movie made too much money.
Find out in Ghoulies 2.
All the Ghoulies pop up in the backseat, and there's a great double take from Mike, and that's the freeze frame, and that's the end of Ghoulies.
Yeah. They'll get you in the end.
Oh my god. Man, that was a lot of plot for a little movie. Because so much stupid shit happens.
The movie is quite literally 80 minutes long. Actually, I think it's 81 minutes long.
Wow.
We've been talking for 1 minute longer than the movie.
Scary, isn't it? Oh my god. So, Jeffrey, how do you like Ghoulies?
Ghoulies is a movie I've seen many times. And yet, most of those times were in my youth. And I recall feeling very positively about Ghoulies in my youth.
Yeah.
And I watched it again recently, like a year ago maybe. And I watched that and Ghoulies 2, and Ghoulies 3 actually. And I liked Ghoulies 1 the best because it was so fucking crazy. And it is really crazy, so I still like it. I like all the stupid shit a lot. But it is, oh my god, it's so garbagey. Like, it's just seams. It's all seams. There's no seamlessness. It's just the seams. Like, where's the fucking fabric, man? It's
I never heard it put that way before. That was good.
I enjoy it, but like, this is like, of all the movies we've covered, this is the shittiest movie we've seen. On any level. It's bad. I don't know.
Are you forgetting Bloodsucker Leads the Dance?
I think Bloodsucker Leads the Dance is a more consistent movie than this one.
Oh my god.
I do. I mean, wow. I don't know if I like Bloodsucker more, but
wow.
This movie is just, it's so weird. Like, it's not as well made as any of the further Ghoulies movies. Like, Ghoulies 2 is a pretty straightforward movie that like works pretty well and is enjoyable. Ghoulies 3 might be the worst movie of all time. It is like horrifically grating, but again, it like basically resembles a movie with logic and stuff and a script. This one is just so not that. And like, it's all of the cool things kind of work in spite of it. Like, the Ghoulies themselves are so minimal in this film. I mean, they're like the draw, one would suppose. And they're not even really in it. And whenever they are, they're just stupid fucking hand puppets that look like shit. Yeah, who is this movie meant to appeal to? Kids, I guess. It appealed to me as a kid, that's for sure. But then again, I definitely liked Ghoulies 2 more when I was a kid. And now I kind of appreciate this one slightly more, just for being so bad.
Nice.
What do you think about this movie, Richard?
I fucking love this shit.
Yeah.
I love the tits off this movie. Like, honestly, a lot of nostalgia is at play, but you know, you can't revisit everything from your youth like Munchies and come away being happy.
Again, I would say that Munchies is actually a better movie than this.
God!
Like, again, maybe not as enjoyable, but like just on a basic filmmaking level, way more competent than this thing.
I think the incompetence is part of the whole package.
Definitely.
I love it.
That is part of the charm.
This hit me at the perfect age when I rented it as a kid. It is something I hadn't watched in a long time, and then I'm thinking I watched it in like 2003 or something like that and loved it again. And then I didn't watch it until literally 2 days ago. So I've seen it. I probably watched it 3 or 4 times as a kid and then not for all that time. And I just, oh man, it just gets better every time. One of the funny things I hinted at was this movie and the far superior film, April Fool's Day, are always connected in my mind.
Right.
And it's a spoiler if you still haven't seen April Fool's Day by now. You need to see it. The original, of course, is that
I think I know why.
No one's really dead.
Yeah.
That it was all a big April Fool's Day prank for the most part. So everyone just is, oh, we're all okay. Ha ha. And that is exactly what happens here. But for much stupider shit.
Yeah.
Everyone just comes back to life. So I've always got this weird connection between those two films, which is neither here nor there, except nostalgia. But yeah, I love the crazy party sequence.
Yeah, that is the highlight.
The crazy ritual. This movie is just, I guess like you're saying, its momentum of stupidity keeps it from falling apart completely, while it really is. What did you say? It was all seams and no fabric.
Yeah, it is because it's so short and because there's so much crazy packed into it. It's very propulsive. You know, you're able to, well, mostly look over all the flaws when you're enjoying it.
But if you want a kooky 80s movie to show to people as something terrible, then they'll love it.
Yeah.
I'm imagining this would be a good party movie.
Sure.
So yeah. What joyous things did you learn from the DVD, the Blu-ray?
Yes. So this little documentary on the Scream Factory Blu-ray had interviews with Charles Band and who else? Richard Band, his brother and composer, with Michael DeBar, who plays Malcolm Graves, and I think maybe one other person, but that was pretty much it. Some little tidbits I discovered from this. Again, so Charles Band was really trying to stake a claim that, he had this Ghoulies idea a long time ago. Way before that whole Gremlins thing. So he said that he and Stan Winston wanted to make a movie called Beasties. There is a movie called Beasties, but I don't think that's the same one they're talking about. And they wanted to make it, but it never really worked out. Never happened. But once Gremlins got big, Charles Band came up with the whole Ghoulies idea, which didn't really have anything to do with the old Beasties idea. Ghoulies was a huge hit, apparently. It was made for no money. Oh, what a surprise. And it made a lot of money. And it kind of kickstarted, Charles Band's whole career, for better or worse. Or at least the heyday of his career. So again, it was intended to be shot partially in 3D. And the funniest line about that was Charles Band saying that, they incorporated, quote, story-driven reasons as to why it makes sense to wear 3D glasses. And yeah, sure they did.
Oh,
definitely.
My God.
Definitely. Michael DeBar, a.k.a. Malcolm Graves, at one point informs us that, quote, Ghoulies was not Citizen Kane, which is good to know.
That's on your gravestone, my friend.
Yeah, his movie gravestone, like the one in the movie. Charles Band, then goes on to insult a lot of people. I don't think he was really intending it to, but he's just such a fucking jackass that it just happens naturally.
Nice.
He comments that all of the Ghoulies look quite a bit like their creator, John Carl Buechler, the special effects makeup dude and director who did Troll and some other movies. He did Friday the 13th New Blood.
He actually had a budget on those.
Yeah. So he commented that all of these disgusting puppet creatures have the same face as John Carl Buechler. Very nice. He then also insults all of these. He insults a whole bunch of receptionists that he knew back in the day who worked for him. Okay, a little bit of context for this. So he spends a lot of the documentary talking about the advertising campaign for the movie, particularly the image of the ghoulie popping out of the toilet and the tagline, "They'll get you in the end." So apparently this was originally, this image and the tagline was created by this guy who smokes a lot of pot, who is also an editor, and he cut the original Star Wars trailer, so he's a pretty well-known guy. And his original tagline for the film with the toilet imagery was, "Ghoulies, they'll eat your ass." And so obviously they could not actually put that on there, so they changed it to the slight pun of "they'll get you in the end," meaning your rear end, which is pretty clever.
I love it.
And a nice PG version of that. Yeah, anyway, in referencing the effect of the highly successful ad campaign with the ghoulie popping out of the toilet, Charles Band lets us know that they got the studio got lots of mail from disturbed parents and children who are now too scared to poop. And he said most of the letters began with, quote, "Dear movie man, you suck." And anyway, Charles Band is talking about all of the receptionists who are telling him about the bad news of the response to this ad campaign, and he calls them all super ugly receptionists. And he says, to explain this, he says, "Look, I made a movie called Troll. I know what ugly is." He might be the worst human being outside of Toad Boy.
Dear God.
Anyway, the last little bit
shit.
of information from this documentary that was of any interest. This documentary was 30 minutes long. And it was mostly incredibly boring, which I think is just reflective of the interview subjects. Michael DeBar, Malcolm Graves, says that he hasn't seen the film because, quote, it would be like smelling his own fart.
Oh.
So that's all I got.
So wait, that's a bad thing? Have you smelled Michael DeBar's amazing farts?
I watched Ghoulies a couple times.
Wow.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I now hate Charles Band.
Yeah.
Dickhead.
Well, not hard to do.
Let's see. This was directed by, how do we say his name? Luca Berkovecki?
Luca Berkovecki.
This guy did some other things.
Yeah, he was mostly an actor. And I guess like Charlie Band had like this program where like, if you act in a few movies, we'll give you a chance to direct a terrible movie.
And he got to direct Rockula.
Uh-huh.
And he got to direct The Granny.
He directed a movie called The Chain in 1996 with Gary Busey.
Oh, that cover art. Oh my God. People, go to IMDb. Wow.
This movie is about Gary Busey being unjustly imprisoned in a South American jail. Oh yeah.
Oh man. That looks so amazing. Holy shit. There's definitely an explosion in the on the DVD cover. It's awesome. Yes, Luca actually wrote this with someone named Jeffrey Levy.
Mm-hmm.
It was a director in his own right. He directed and wrote SFW, the grunge 90s movie. That's fucking just insane.
Oh, I don't know that.
Yeah, it's I think it was meant to make a bigger splash than it did on its straight-to-video-ness.
Huh.
I'm assuming it was straight-to-video.
Uh-huh.
It's a Stephen Dorff classic.
I see that. Stephen Dorff and Jake Busey classic.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Let's see. He also wrote some Ghoulies 4 action and the aforementioned Rockula, which I am actually terrified of watching Rockula, even though it has one of my all-time favorite people, Tony Basil, in it.
He directed a lot of TV, and mostly like TV series that were abruptly canceled, like Harsh Realm, Freaky Links, Keen Eddie. Well,
Baby.
A lot of these did not last long.
You don't remember Freaky Links?
I had a Freaky Links fan page. I made one.
You never told me.
I was a huge Freaky Links fan. The TV series wasn't really all that good, but I really liked the Freaky Links promotional website. It was amazing.
I've never heard of Freaky Links. I thought you were joking.
No, Freaky
That
Links
was a thing?
Awesome. Yeah, it was made by Haxon. It was produced by Haxon, which are the same people that did Blair Witch Project.
Wow.
And it was really cool. It starred Ethan Embry. But the whole thing was like they were going for sort of the viral marketing strategy, a lot like Blair Witch did with their information-rich website. Well, they had Freaky Links, the website, was up for like 6 months or something before the TV show debuted, and it was like all of these. It was like a blog of somebody exploring creepy shit. It was
it actually scary?
I was like creeped out by it.
Nice, but the show did not live up to it.
The show was just like a normal bad show.
Oh my god,
it was so disappointing. With like
sounds...
some found footage elements, like a
I'm
little
intrigued.
bit here and there, but it was a cool thing. Anyway,
Peter Liapis, who starred as Jonathan, he was in some stuff.
Yeah, like Ghoulies 4.
Came back for Ghoulies 4. Good on him, you know. He knows what's good for him. He was also in Wishmaster, where he played pharmacy customer number 1.
Yeah, not much of a career for old Dom Cruise.
Not too surprising. Lisa Pelican, oh my god. I had such a crush on her. Oh my god. So, that she was a big draw for me with this movie. I was completely in love with her as a kid. She was also in a film we've covered on this podcast, Jennifer. The Carrie ripoff that I love.
Oh, she's Jennifer?
She is.
Oh, that makes
She's
sense.
a
I was
big-
like, because she does look familiar. I was like,
She's a
who
big
is she?
part of why that movie's amazing.
Cool.
Michael DeBar, let's just get to him. He has the greatest IMDb picture.
It's pretty fucking cool.
Holy shit, what a badass. I want to smell his farts even more.
And he is a former British hard rock singer.
Really?
So, yeah.
Wow.
Makes sense. He's got that presence, man.
I can feel it. Coming in the air tonight. Oh no.
He has not had... he's not, like, known for many things, but he's...
he was in Deep Red. The TV movie from 1994.
Okay.
Not the Argento
Don't
movie.
scare me like that.
Oh, that felt good.
He was in 3 different episodes of Roseanne. He was in Mulholland Drive in a small role. Yeah, not much.
Wow.
Not much going on there. Waxwork 2, Under Siege. There's a couple things here.
Interesting. Let's see. Jack Nance, of course, a great character actor who was not in Ghoulies enough, obviously. We mentioned his Eraserhead and his his association with David Lynch is pretty legendary.
Yep.
They work together all the time, or they used to. Oh, has he stopped? Oh my God! Tell
he
me.
died. Yeah,
I did not know he died.
He died back in '96. He got into a fight. I think it was either at a bar or a gas station, and somebody punched him in the head, and he died in his sleep that night from internal injuries. It was pretty fucked up.
That is very depressing.
Yeah.
At least this wasn't his last movie. So there you go. Yikes. Anyway, anybody else we want to mention other than...
Oh, yeah, totally.
Let's keep going
fucking
here.
Toad Boy, man. Ralph Seymour. He is in a couple movies we know, like Just Before Dawn.
Nice.
And
Killer Party.
Killer Party's another horror one. He's also in Meatballs 2 and Surf 2. There is no Surf 1, but he's in Surf 2.
Wow.
So a couple things. Mariska Hargitay, who is one of the women.
Yeah, which one? I don't know.
Donna. She's Donna.
Hey.
I don't know who that is. Scott Thompson, who plays Mike, is in a bunch of big movies like Twister, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Police Academy.
I've never liked Fast Times at Ridgemont High. I always find that movie too depressing.
It is pretty sad.
I'll tell you what's not depressing. Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Shireen Kathleen, who played Robin, the girl who looked at the grave in this movie, and who may have been one of the other characters as well. She played Patty in Girls Just Want to Have Fun, which unfortunately I don't remember her character. But if you haven't seen that, you need to see it. It's amazing. It's about as far away from horror on purpose as it can be. It's horrible accidentally. And it's a favorite, especially in this household. Did you see that Mark Wahlberg did the cinematography? Oh no, I'm sorry. That's Mac Albert.
Pretty close.
Same thing. Ted Nicolo edited this thing.
Yeah.
I like that dude.
He's done better movies than this. Much more coherent movies than this.
Oh my God. Yeah. Terror Vision.
You know what? I'm sure he didn't have much to work with, so I don't blame him.
That's awesome.
I think that's pretty much everybody worth mentioning.
I don't know. Let's talk about Craig Talmy, the special effects sound guy. No, it's not.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay. That puts our Ghoulies to bed.
Ghoulies go to bed?
Ghoulies Will Hunting.
That's what the third one is?
I've never seen the sequels. I mean, I think I saw Ghoulies 2. I think I can't be for certain, but I vaguely remember renting Ghoulies 2, but it would be watching it for the first time now.
Ghoulies 2 is the one set at the carnival. And it's good. It's definitely a better movie.
I might have caught some of it on cable.
It is not nearly as weird as this one. So, and then Ghoulies 3 is quite literally one of the worst movies of all time.
Wow.
It is it's like goes for straight up comedy, but it is the worst form of grating, obnoxious comedy.
What about Ghoulies Go to College? Is that
that's
the same movie?
That's the third one. Ghoulies 3,
'cause...
Ghoulies Go to College.
Okay.
I once used that title in categories for a lot of alliterative points on G.
Nice.
Yeah, that's good. And then Ghoulies 4, I've only seen it once. I remember renting it and being incredibly disappointed by it. I think I rented that and The Gate 2 and just had the worst weekend ever.
The Gate 2 I remember very well, even though it's awful.
Yeah, I have better memories of that. Ghoulies 4 is like a sequel to Ghoulies.
Nice.
Like a direct sequel. The other ones are not really.
Oh, skip those other ones. Go right to 4, right?
But Ghoulies 4, the Ghoulies are much bigger. They're not puppets anymore. And
they can't afford the puppet.
I think they talk and stuff. It's bad. It's pretty bad.
Wow.
Well, they talk in Ghoulies 3 too, and it's the worst fucking thing in the world because they're just making jokes all the time. Ugh.
Oh boy, great.
Anyway.
All right, so I did have a question time for you, sir.
Question me already.
Okay, I asked of you to name a 1980s horror film that is a huge nostalgic memory for you, and why.
Mm-hmm. So I thought about this one for a while, and the movies I watched the most as a child in the early 90s, but they were all movies from the 80s.
Right.
Was stuff like Ghoulies and Critters and all the sequels, and Gremlins and Munchies and Monster Squad. I watched Monster Squad all the time.
Oh yeah, me too.
But none of those, and The Gate too, of course. Not The Gate 2, The Gate as well. Yeah, I mean, I watch those all the fucking time. But watching them now, I still like most of them for the most part. It's not really a nostalgic experience. I don't feel it so much. Maybe with The Gate. That might be the top one for that.
Nice.
But the movie I'm going with here is specifically only really 2 scenes from it because I remember giving me crazy nightmares. But the best kind of nightmares. And that would be Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. Specifically, the opening and closing bus scenes.
Oh.
Those, for some reason, really stuck with me. Because I think in our house, I could see pretty much any horror movie I wanted. But the Nightmare on Elm Street movies were kind of off limits for a little while. And so I never saw the first one right away. I saw I think I just caught the beginning or the end of Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, and it really stuck with me because Freddy was all over the fucking place in the early 90s.
No doubt.
When you went to the when I went to the grocery store, I could buy for 25 cents a foil sticker with Freddy ripping open his shirt and little Freddies or souls popping out of his chest. You could buy that at the fucking grocery store where kids are. That's how huge he was in the culture. And that was my first experience of him as a character. Was the bus scenes, and they really hit me for some reason because I was like, I ride a bus, I go to school.
It's relatable.
This is my life. So whenever I see those, the rest of the movie, I don't really have any specific nostalgic attachment to, but those scenes, which are kind of hazy and dreamlike anyway, fit very much into my nostalgic reverie.
Just think, years later, all that gay subtext would be relevant.
Yes, it's extremely relevant to my life at the moment.
No, I couldn't resist.
So, what is your 80s nostalgia movie?
It didn't take long for me to come up with this one. Oddly enough, Hellraiser.
Okay.
It was around the time when Blockbuster Video, those evil bastards, started slapping that sticker on certain titles that said you have to be 17 or older to rent this. And I have a very crystal clear memory of the first instance where I had to con my mother into renting a movie with that sticker on it for me. And apparently I had my moments where I was a really good liar as a kid. I had some moments where I was a terrible liar. But this was one where I got away with it. I grabbed Hellraiser, which had been hyped to no end for me as a burgeoning horror fan. So I grabbed Hellraiser had that sticker, and I panicked. And I took it to my mother, and I said, okay, I want to rent this. And I put my hands over the sticker, hoping she wouldn't see it. But, of course, that failed because she took it out of my hands. And she's like, wait a minute, this says 17 or older. And I said, Mom, and this is so great. I totally didn't plan this at all. I just said, they don't know what movies they stick those on. The people that work here don't even know anything. So I made it like the Blockbuster employees were incompetent.
Yeah.
So she automatically bought my story or took pity on me, whichever, and rented Hellraiser for me. And didn't bother to say, well, let's watch this one together. I'm worried. No, I got to watch it all by myself.
Nice.
So I'm in my room with my parents' old VCR and my little TV, and I am getting too scared watching Hellraiser. It is too much for me because it is an intense film for a kid.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm pausing it, and I just would go out into the living room where my parents are watching whatever movie they rented. I'm just sit on the couch. Like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, nothing. What are you guys watching? But I got through Hellraiser, so I only had to get up 3 times to go and like hang with my folks to have like a cooling off period. Mm-hmm. And by the time I finally got to the end of Hellraiser, I was so proud of myself for not like giving in, you know.
Nice.
I wimped out in other ways, and I did watch it in its entirety again the following day before we took all the movies back. I was very pleased with myself because this is at the point where we would hit Blockbuster twice in the weekends, so we'd get like 7 or 8 movies in because we didn't like to talk to each other in my family.
Oh yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Talking's overrated.
So yeah, that was my pick. Was Hellraiser. Still a favorite. I still love that movie. It just clicks.
Nice.
Especially that lightning they drew in.
Do you recall on the at the end of the Hellraiser VHS the awesome promo?
Was it for part 2?
No, it's for Hellraiser merchandise.
I want to say I do. What was the deal?
It's amazing. It's on YouTube, but you should definitely check it out.
I bet I saw it. I'll find it and play it right now.
It's hosted by like an old lady who's like cheekily, hawking all of like these Hellraiser t-shirts to you, and it's like it's all the products are displayed in this room that is like a sort of like where the Cenobites are hanging out in the movie.
Nice.
It's really funny.
That's fucking
and it's
awesome.
like goes on for like 5 minutes. It's so long.
Well, I will play it right now. Or I will have already played it. Whatever. Real time doesn't matter in podcast land.
Percy, have you ever seen such a mess? And the smell in here could raise the dead.
Stay chained to the screen, because here's what we have for you. Get hooked on a Hellraiser t-shirt. We want you to hang in there. A Hellraiser thermos or mug. They're great for pouring something tasty down your tonsils. Hellraiser sweatpants and sweatshirts. Perfect attire, even if you're up against the wall.
Well, thank you, sir. That was a lot of fun.
Hey, you could say it was a ghoulishly good time.
Boom! We talked longer than the movie by a long time.
Yes.
We had to make it make sense.
It takes some effort.
I made a Harry Potter joke. Hey.
Me too. We actually both independently made Harry Potter jokes. Pretty good.
Just tell them the truth. We write this shit for days. We have meetings.
Oh, God. That would be so sad if we did.
Yes, it would.
Cry.
Good night, folks.
If you would like to contact Hello, this is The Doomed Show. Please email us at doomedmoviethong@gmail.com or check us out at facebook.com/HelloDoomedShow. We are also on Twitter. Sorry about that. @DoomedMovieThong. #HelloDoomedShow. For the old ass episodes that you missed, find our archived episodes at doomedmoviethong.com. Don't forget to eat fruit and veggies.